Good morning, everybody. I wanted to just share with you a few things about what's been happening in our parish and how we're going to begin the phase 2 and 3 of the Archdiocesan plan for reopening our church and all churches, in fact. First of all, just a couple of announcements. If you haven't seen it, I invite you to take a look at St. Anne School's virtual graduation. It's a wonderfully done presentation that Mr. Feliciano, our principal, and his sister Amanda put together, and they did a wonderful job. It's the last graduating class of our school, sadly to say, and by June 30th, our school will officially close. But this video and the way in which it's done is very heartwarming and genuine in its effort to help these students feel like they graduated from our school. Of course, they didn't literally come in here, although we have them in here, but the class wasn't here as a group because of these issues with social distancing and the need to protect each other from the COVID-19. So take a look at it. It's on, you can go on our webpage or on the school webpage, or click on YouTube on, if you have a computer, and just go to St. Anne School and you'll see the video for the graduation. The second announcement has to do with our sacramental program, our confirmation and our First Holy Communion efforts. As you know, we haven't been able to have them as usual, and we have 2 confirmation classes and a number of students in our First Communion class. So we're going to be doing those, celebrating those sacraments gradually in the fall, and the actual dates when we are able to settle what they will be, we'll let you know about them. But don't worry, everyone who's going to be confirmed will be confirmed. That's including our CIA candidates and anyone who will be receiving their First Communion from this past semester. They will be receiving it this fall for the first time. And finally, I'd like to just share with you a couple of the procedures that we all must follow when Masses begin. We're going to begin Masses next Monday. Even though some churches are doing it this week, we needed some time to put our strategies into place, and we're doing it this week. We finalize everything, and we're hoping that we'll be able to implement them by next Monday. That's what we will be doing. But there are a few things you need to do that you should be aware of. You can see this if you need to read it again on our webpage, or if you look at the Archdiocese, they have similar things there. So here are the basic procedures that we need to follow. First of all, we need to register for any Mass that we're going to. That's including weekday Masses as well as Sunday Masses. Next week we begin weekday Masses, and the maximum number of people we can have at the one Mass we're celebrating is 50. So if we exceed that number, we have to limit the number to 50, and the people who exceed it, and we have to know that, we can help them find another way of celebrating Mass. But you call up the church during this week, or yes, at the end of the week you can start doing that, or you can go on Eventbrite, either on the parish's website or just click in Eventbrite on your computer and it'll come up, and St. Anne's will be there. Again, it's just a matter of helping us maintain the social distancing and the other demands that this virus is placing upon all of us, so that we help each other feel as safe and secure as we can. So that's the first step, registering for the Mass beginning on Monday. Secondly, everyone who comes here has to wear a mask. And like I came in here, I put on this mask. We have to wear a mask so that our breathing doesn't affect other people adversely. Thirdly, when we do come in here, there are certain pews that we can go into and other pews that we can't. And we have them roped off so that you'll know which pews are available and which pews are not. Thirdly, when you come in here and we start celebrating Mass, there will be no hand shaking for a sign of peace, nor will anyone be able to receive from the precious blood. But we will receive, of course, from the host. And when you receive, you'll be asked to come up with your mask on. just hold your hand out, and the priest or whoever is helping you with communion will place the host on your hand. We're not supposed to be receiving communion on the tongue, because that brings people into too close a contact, and that can be dangerous for everybody. So please, I know that's going to be difficult for some of you because you're so used to receiving communion on the tongue, but this is only temporary, and we'll be going back to our special practices after a few, well, hopefully after a couple of months, but we'll see. So, registration, wearing masks, keeping socially distant, and sitting in every other pew are the basic procedures that we all have to follow. That's true for weekday masses, which will begin on the 22nd of June, and the following weekend, the 27th and 28th, will begin our Sunday masses. And there too, there's a limitation on number, because we're only allowed 50% of the total capacity of our church, which is roughly between 170 and 200. So you need to register for the mass you want to go to. And we have either 9:30 on Sunday morning or 5:15 on Saturday night. So there are two masses, and you can come to either one. And you can just come in. We'll have some people, ushers and greeters, that will help you sit where it will be best for you to sit. And again, there's a limitation in the spaces. The back part of the church, we're not going to be opening yet, and I'll tell you the reason for that in a minute. But in the front part, from part of the beyond the break all the way up to the front, we'll be able to use that, and of course the side areas of the church. So that'll fit about 170 to 200 people. If we have to open more, we will. But every other pew, again, you'll be asked to sit in. Families, of course, can sit together, but then there must be a separation between a family group and the next person. So those are the basic regulations. Registration, face mask, sitting socially distant, going to communion and recognizing that we have to keep distance from each other, and being sure that we understand that we can't stay in church afterwards. And here's the reason for this. We have to sanitize the whole place, and we have to do so after every time people are in here. So please, because of the time frame and the largeness of this church, please leave church as soon as you can so that we are able to sanitize the place. This is all being done to help everyone feel safe and secure, because our primary focus is to worship the Lord. And the first step in worshiping the Lord is being sensitive to each other so that we don't create a problem where one person or another might get sick. If it does happen that someone gets sick, the registration process will allow us to identify who that person is, and then anyone who is in the Mass at that time, we can let them know that someone in the church came down with COVID-19. Hopefully that won't happen, but as you can see from the news, when people start getting together, the number of cases of COVID-19 begins to increase, and we need to prevent that from happening as much as we can. So I understand that these are cumbersome regulations, and sometimes you probably say, darn it, I wish we could just do what we want to do. One day we will, but we've got to be able to do so when we come here to celebrate, that we help each other and we keep our eyes and our hearts focused on the worship of God and His presence in the lives of the people around us. So those are the little things I wanted to let you be aware of. I hope it's clear. If not, please just call me. I'll try and answer any questions you might have, or Father Sam will. And, we're here to help. We're here to make it as easy as possible. And some wonderful people in our parish are going to be helping us all do that. So thank you again for listening to this, and I hope you're all well and that your families are well too. And let's pray for one another and for our country and for all the people in our school who are no longer going to be able to go there. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of the year. Thanks.